Jabari Parker and center Alex Lynn each announced Wednesday they have tested positive for the coronavirus. Nikola Jokic and Malcolm Brogdon have also tested positive. And according to an anonymous poll of NBA GMs conducted by The Athletic, some GMs are terrified of the NBA's restart in the bubble. One GM told The Athletic Monday, quote, "If the cases keep spiking in Florida, things are going to happen. I'm really concerned for the league, big picture-wise, in many, many ways." A second GM said he's, quote, "uncomfortable. How can anyone not be? A lot of uncertainty. I know all the proper measures are being taken, but there is still a lot of unknown. You know, and I know why we're playing, for the money. If not that, do you really think we would be playing? I get it, and I'm in, but with hesitation." That quote from a GM, part of the Athletic's anonymous poll amongst GMs. We welcome you back into First Take. Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman here. Max, I want to start with you. Who has the most to lose if the NBA's restart goes south?
The owners, just as a statement of fact. I mean, listen, we could all say the fans, I get it, but like the owners, as a statement of fact, have the most to lose. First of all, they're the biggest stakeholders, including the players and everybody. Secondly, including the networks and everybody, the owners are the biggest stakeholders here. Secondly, they make their money in the playoffs. Like the players don't get paid proportionally in the playoffs as they do in the regular season, which means the owners get paid disproportionately in the playoffs. And that's really what we're talking about, a scant few, like how many regular season games we're talking about? We're talking about the playoffs here, which is a 2-month season usually in the NBA. So Stephen A., if you want to say the fans, I'll leave that to you. I think a case can be made. But the owners, the biggest stakeholders of all, have the most to lose.
I disagree with you, Max. I think it's the players. And the reason why I think it's the players is because of the force majeure provision, the doomsday provision in the NBA's collective bargaining agreement. If the games don't resume and the season is officially canceled, then the owners have the right to rip up the collective bargaining agreement and start anew. And if they start anew, I've personally been told by several executives in the National Basketball Association, including at least 2 owners, that we most certainly will pursue a hard salary cap. And so when you take that into consideration, and when I say a hard salary cap, a la the NFL, now the players can sit up there and tell you no way in hell will we ever capitulate to that and what have you. But I would remind you that once upon a time, they were getting about 50% of basketball-related income. It's now down to 50%. They'll go for less than that in the future. And so you're talking about the owners going for the jugular simply because it's not about being enemies with the players or anything like that. It's about the fact that there's an abundance of losses that they've accrued already, and they're projecting to lose even more because of advertisers and sponsors, them having lost money, the kind of dollars they're going to be able to throw into the coffers of the NBA. If we are indeed partners, then we are all suffering, which means we all need to suffer together. This is why you have to have a season. Chris Paul's a businessman. I think he's doing a great job as president of basketball operations. He knows what the hell he's doing. He certainly puts in the work and works diligently to understand what's going on. LeBron James, he's renowned as an astute business mind, not just a phenomenal basketball player. Andre Iguodala, I can't say enough about the things that I've heard about him and the kind of effort that he's put forth in making sure that the players are on the up and up in terms of their knowledge about what's transpiring, what's going on. We saw Jared Dudley issue a tweet weeks ago alluding to these very kind of things that I'm talking about. The owners are going to get some of this back. They are not going to sit up there and accrue all the losses by themselves. The players will suffer significantly. And unlike the owners,
Stephen A.,
I don't think most players can afford to.
Real quick, Stephen A., careful. Things are not normal right now. And NBA players could decide now is the chance, if the owners push it too much and they rip up the contract so the players are under no obligations, to start their own league. That could happen. And in the NBA, it's not like football where replacement players can come in and you'll drop by 15%. That could happen.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Max Kellerman, I've been covering the NBA for 25 years. I've been covering collective bargaining negotiations for just as long as that. I've heard that all the time. And what the difficulty in that is this, Max Kellerman. With the owners, you've got 30 owners that have to come together. With the players, you're talking about 450 plus. plus their respective
Not exactly.
agents and everything in between. And so because of that, I'm just saying, because of that, what you have is when you talk about, the guys can talk all they want to. And I know, and listen, by the way, Colin Kaepernick brought that up to people when it came to starting your own league as it pertained to football to rival that of the National Football League. The advertisers and sponsors ultimately will follow. They will follow the dollars. They'll go where the money is. We get all of that. All I'm saying is, I think that there would be an easier path towards having more minorities in ownership positions within the National Basketball Association than the players themselves starting their own league.
Stephen A., it wouldn't be 400.
That's in place, the challenges that it would take, the time that it would play. I'm not, it wouldn't be 400, but the time that it would take and what that's a daunting task, Max. I'm not buying that.
What I'm saying
I'm not
is
saying
if you
it's
had
impossible.
the top players,
I'm saying I don't buy it when they say
50 or 100. If you 50 or 100 of the most important players got on the same page, the rest would follow if they really could get it together. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying times are so unusual right now that if I'm the owners, I watch how far I push the leverage I think I have. And I certainly wouldn't rip up the CBA and release everyone from their obligations, because then, in fact, the players do have that leverage. So I hear what you're saying. Everyone has a lot to lose, but I still believe the owners the most.
Yeah, but I think the wrong word that you're using is leverage. I don't think it's about leverage. I think it's about losses. See, what I'm saying is it's one thing if everything is going all right, but you just want more money, and as a result, you go back to the negotiating table. No, you would be going back to the negotiating table because of the tremendous amount of losses suffered because of a pandemic. So because of that, it's not about going against the players. It's not about the players going against the owners. It would be about the pandemic has ravaged our sport as it has ravaged the world. These are new circumstances. There's going to be a new normal. We have to adjust and negotiate accordingly.